GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
So welcome everyone to the wrestling show. Fat Man here, obviously still sick. Voice don't know what the hell's going on. But as always, we have a Mark.
Hey.
And he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Dietz live with us here tonight.
You know, shit's got to hit the fan when I actually have to come aboard.
Yeah, dude. We're going to talk exclusively AEW. We're going to talk about All Out, and we're going to talk about all the shit that went down backstage, and we're going to do it right after this.
Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
What? Wait. What?
Wait, what?
Sleazy?
What?
Did you escape? No. Clearly by the backdrop, you're still in rehab.
All right, fuck you guys. Seriously. I'm back, motherfuckers. I can't not be back when it comes to CM Punk punching out people randomly, right?
Well, you picked a good week.
Allegedly.
You picked a very, very good week to come back. It is good to see your fat fucking face.
Thank you.
After 6 weeks.
Has it really been 6 weeks? Jesus.
It might even been 7.
You look pretty good. Rehab got you. Looks like you got a new pair of glasses.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got that in rehab. New bottle to suck on. Thinking it's hermaphroditic dick. That's good. So we're.
It's a thing, you know. I mean, I have to make sure that I have like other triggers, so that when I feel like it's going to happen, I have to drink water or something instead. It's a whole thing.
So
just let it. Safe to say that I'm back full time. I don't have to worry about rehab again. I hope.
So. Well, you were in rehab. Did you see Ryan there? Because Ryan is in rehab.
I might have saw the fat fuck as I was leaving, but I don't know exactly what's going on or what happened. I hope to catch up with him someday. Maybe I'll, catch him in the visitor center.
Wait a minute. We have Canadian rehab and American rehab together? Is that a thing?
It's Cuba.
It's in Ottawa, obviously.
Oh, duh. Okay, my bad.
But yeah. So how are you, fat? Anything happened in wrestling lately?
Well,
no.
I guess
last 6 weeks.
I guess I'm Johnny Ace's son now. I mean,
yeah.
What the fuck happened here? Dietz is on the show.
Yeah, Dietz is on.
Back in 2005.
Dietz is on. Ryan's off. There may be a new member coming on.
New member? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So you haven't been watching the product, have you?
I haven't been listening to the product either.
Okay, fair enough.
That is very, very true. Well, anyway, let's talk about All Out. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Biggie, can't we see? Sometimes his words just hypnotize me.
From parts unknown.
He's not even that. Oh, he disappeared.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Fine.
Sleazy bumped him. What a dick.
Bad form.
Yep. There's only room for one Sleazy.
No, there's been 3 of us.
Well, I was about to say there's 3 of you now. There's Canadian, there's the original, and then there's the new.
Heavy G, welcome.
My friend, nice to meet you.
My friend, nice to meet you as well.
Name's Dietz, a.k.a. the fatter fat man. The one with the good gun.
I'm still the skinniest guy on the show.
He's big. He's Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
6'4", 400 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal.
I love it.
So
All right.
we're discussing All Out. We'll talk about that first, and then do all the bullshit news and rumors later.
Mhm.
The main show, which opens with the casino ladder match for a future AEW World Championship match. Wheeler Yuta versus Ray Phoenix versus Dante Martin versus Latin Flair versus Penta El Zero versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Roosh, Ryan's favorite wrestler, versus the Joker. 14 minutes and 15 seconds. Sleazy, let's start with you.
This was a mess, guys. This was really a mess. There was a ton of spots that really didn't work. I guess my thing is, why have all these spots? Why have this major match when it ends with basically, what did Uno say online? Basically his henchman coming down and beating the shit out of everybody just to have the Joker come down and basically be given the chip. We know it was Stokely Hathaway and his band of jobbers, but we don't know who the Joker is at this point. He doesn't unmask.
Oh, we know who the fuck he was.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone knew.
The
but
mannerisms,
The walk.
the body type,
You could
the
say that-
mannerisms.
Here's
You know
the thing.
exactly who he was.
Here's the thing, though. We're talking about what type of fan is watching this. For the most part, we all
It's not
knew
us.
it was MJF.
Yes.
Yeah, but there were some questions because even as the pay-per-view was going on, people were unsure online, and I was watching it because I was like, it's got to be MJF. But here's the thing, and I'll talk about this later. It doesn't make sense. And I'll say why that's the case later. As for the match itself, it's garbage. I gave it 2 stars, and I think I'm being really generous with that.
Okay,
So-
I haven't said this in a long time. Same rating, piece of shit. Yeah, it was sloppy as fuck. They were doing spots for spots just cause. It made no sense. It was dumb. It was AEW booking at its
Finest.
finest, quote
I'll
unquote.
take it.
It's just and the timer was clearly on Titan time. Because
Right?
one time it was like 30 seconds, one time was a minute, one time was like 3 fucking minutes because they had to set up a spot. It's like it was so stupid.
Did you all watch the end of All Out?
Yes.
Okay, because they just revealed who the Joker was.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we're reviewing it right now, so yes.
All right, well, I just finished.
Yeah,
Wow, pull the curtain away,
I'm
Chip.
on it. Yeah, I agree with all you guys. That was just it's basically what to me it has the Money in the Bank it's become a spot fest. That's all it was. Like I said, you knew who MJF was with the Joker was when he came down through. It's just like you said, horrible storyline. Just like you said, spots where it didn't need to have spots. Horrible. I only gave it a star.
It also did a disservice to the people in that match. Look who's in that match. Fucking Claudio Castagnoli,
The Ring of Honor World Champion.
Right.
Penta El Zero, former Impact World Champion,
Mhm.
Wheeler Yuta,
Current Ring of Honor Pure Champion.
Ray Phoenix, Roosh,
Former Ring of Honor World Champion.
two-time Ring of Honor
2-time.
champion,
Thank you.
Latin Flair,
He's done nothing in the business.
and then Dante Martin. But yeah, like it did a disservice to everyone in that match.
Mhm. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And yeah.
Okay, Brandon,
Thank you. All y'all overrating pieces of shit. This is the worst fucking ladder match I have ever seen. It is the year 2022. This is probably in the last 22 years. That is the worst ladder match I've ever fucking seen. And that's a goddamn shame when you got Dante Martin who can fly, Ray Phoenix who can fly, Claudio that can hang with all of them, Penta, Rouge, Latin Flair, a.k.a. Andrade. This could have been so much more. And I really think it's the way they had that fucking shit set up. Why not start everybody at once?
I'm gonna throw this out there for you. And I'm gonna be kind of tiptoeing throughout this show saying this, but what if it was intentional?
What was intentional?
The sandbagging in the spots, the shitty spots here and there.
But here's another thing.
I just want to know who's the producer? Because this match was completely just shit.
Another thing was the match could end at any time. You had Roosh come down and then Andrade, and yet they clearly could have climbed the ladder. One of them could have, and they just decided not to. It made zero sense.
There was no storytelling. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's fine.
No storytelling. Just it was a giant spot fest with no ring psychology. This couldn't have been a worse match. 2 poop emojis.
All right.
Worst match of the card.
Oh, I didn't know we could do that.
So Dietz doesn't do star ratings. He does emojis.
Okay.
Why not?
Chip, go ahead.
Oop.
Mark. Fucking piece of shit, Mark.
1.5 maybe, and I couldn't get into it at all. And then when Malcolm revealed himself, Stokely
Malcolm Bavens
revealed himself as the leader of the crew, and I was just like, well, then they're just going to give it to whoever the Joker is, and it was just. I lost all respect for that match right there. So 1.5.
I like how you're like 1.5. I'm Ron Burgundy.
I do want to say that they put how much money into buying the rights for Sympathy for the Devil.
That's the only plus.
No,
I mean,
it's not
like. Here you go for 30 seconds for no reason. Just to reference a promo from year and a half ago? A year ago?
No.
Because MJF had said something about it.
He did?
Yes.
But technically, the promo was from 2005.
Oh, the Punk promo originally.
The Punk promo, yeah.
Yeah,
so I know he did it a year ago. But technically, you're paying 30 seconds to reference a fucking 17-year-old fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's asininely stupid.
Yes.
You're not getting any return on that money.
Oh, absolutely not. It was done as
Finals of the AEW Trios Championship. The Elite versus Hangman Page of the Dark Order.
Did G give his
Yeah.
I must have zoned out.
19 minutes and 50. Yeah, this isn't the fucking best Dan sports show period too. Come on. 19 minutes, 50 seconds. John Canton gave the ladder match 2 3/4. Canton gave this match 4 stars. Yo, Doug, I heard you like tag team. Oh, he's not on the show. Okay.
I will say this though. Yo, Dog, what a nice match to put in the dead spot.
But if you look at the trend of the night, it worked.
I disagree. It should have opened with this, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. But at the same, if you just heard the crowd though, it wasn't. They were starting to get hot. They made it.
Well, they got dead during the casino ladder match. So, I mean,
It was a terrible fucking match. That's why.
Yeah.
But match was great. Shocker, people that do trios matches pretty regularly had a great trios match.
So you're telling me that the team who these belts were made for won?
Right? Okay, there are a couple of nitpicks I do have about the match. Number one,
You better bring up one of them that I'm going to say.
Paige stopping John Silver and 3 and 4. I'll just call them 3 and 4. From stomping on their back, going, "Yo, that man is like, hurt. What the fuck? What's going on?" And Bees is the whole fucking good guy of it. And he's the first one to knock off somebody off the apron later on in the match. You fucking idiots.
That's one. Okay.
And the other one was there was a near fall spot that I didn't like.
Oh, well, you didn't bring up the typical terrible officiating.
Oh yeah, well,
They were
that's
bitching.
AEW now.
So they bitch and complain.
Bryce Remsburg just needs to fucking go away.
That wasn't Bryce Remsburg, though.
I'm just
No,
saying.
it wasn't.
General statement.
How dare you?
Friend of the show, by the way. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But anyway, they did a spot where they were doing all this shit, but yet, oh no, the legal man. You can't do anything because the legal man. By the way, the illegal man got pinned.
Yeah. Thank you.
So the officiating was so fucking. It made no sense.
Nobody knew what was going on, and that's the
They're
thing
all
about
like,
these.
let's do all these spots, and then they're all like, oh, no, he's a legal man. You can't touch him because he's not the legal man. The legal man's in there. So then you count the fall on the illegal man. Stupid. 3.5 stars because it fucking made my head spin out. Stupidly idiotic some of this fucking nonsense is. And by the way, it's the one aspect of Punk's fucking promo that I actually agree with. They obviously clearly produced this match. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay.
Okay. So the idiocy refs that kind of annoys me. I gave it 3.5. Like,
say with me.
My big issue that I have with this is, when's the last time the Dark Order has ever went over? Since Brody's been gone.
Never.
Maybe right after he passed, but after that, nothing.
Now keep in mind, I watched that tribute show. I love that tribute show. That was the last time they got any fucking wins at all, really.
Anything.
Yep. Even in Rochester, they lost.
Mm-hmm. So, where are they at Wednesday?
Buffalo.
You're an hour away.
I'm an hour away.
From Rochester.
I'm an hour and a half away.
He's no longer an hour away.
Sleazy's no longer an hour away.
Now it's 6.
God damn.
Yeah, right.
He's next door neighbors to us.
Rehab is far. Next door neighbors to us. We'll talk afterwards.
Let's just say Rehab is next door to the Borgata.
Just say armpit.
But it
fuck you, New Jersey.
Wrong kid died, in my opinion. This would have been the great. You could have had a nice little thing. It's Buffalo. It's Dark Order. That's Dark Order territory. You could have went into all that. Nope. Give it to the EVPs.
Here's the thing. I to an extent, I agree with you. The problem ends up being is that you have Hangman with them. And I think that if it was an all Dark Order team, that would have worked. But because you had Hangman there, it would have been a win for Dark Order. It would have been a win for Hangman, who also brought the Dark Order with them. You see what I mean?
I'll give you that. But it's just...
They pretty much did this to further along the Kenny Omega is
Adam Page.
Kenny Omega superior than anybody storyline? Like,
Yeah. This was just another way to put Omega and the Bucks over a team that would be legitimate. And if it was an all Dark Order team, they wouldn't have done it.
If it was an all Dark
It had
Order
to-
team, it would have been United Empire versus the Bucks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they needed a big team to go against. And there really wasn't, I can't think of any team that was in there that had a win over Omega in AEW.
no,
And certainly not as big of a win as Page did.
no.
So this was a way to get his win back. What's that tell you?
All right, Chip, Mark, fucking whatever you name.
What the fuck your name is?
Yeah. I would have given it 4 stars had they pinned the right guy, but since they pinned the wrong guy, it actually went down to 3 stars.
Wow.
I've seen the Hangman Adam Page Kenny Omega angle for a while now. It was good when it first happened, but now that we're visiting it, it's like it's stale to me. I would have loved to have seen United Empire and Will Ospreay go head to head with Kenny Omega. It would have been more entertaining to me. But I'm also the NJPW fan, so that's neither here nor there. But
you're not wrong with that. I would have loved to see that too.
I would have loved to see United Empire on Rampage and then have it be United Empire and the trio, Bucks and Omega for the trios. And then that could have led to Wrestle Kingdom being Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega.
They really fuck these brackets up.
They did so horribly. Because,
But it's okay. My hero Kenny Omega is here.
That's a badass shirt.
It is. It truly is.
So I lost interest in it with everything all going off the wall bonkers and no rules being implemented to anything. And referees not knowing who the fuck the legal guy was. Fuck that match. Okay, I'm done.
VG?
I agree. I mean, the match that should have been on this pay-per-view was the Empire versus the Elite. The match itself, 3 stars. Like you said about the whole officiating thing, we didn't get all of that. Again, can Jay Lethal catch a break? I mean, he always seems like he's always there to
Jay Lethal.
Not Jay Lethal.
You're on a different.
Who am I talking about?
You're on.
I'm sorry. I'm on
the second
guys.
trios match out of the
I
third.
meant
A lot of
I
trios, man.
meant Adam Page. He
Not to be confused with Ethan Page, of course.
no. To me, it just seems like one of these guys that they want to push, but then they pull him back. Like another person that they did with that in this show. I like Kenny Omega. I think one of the elite performers. And like you said, this is just EVP's getting the belts. I mean, to me,
Why must they always win everything? Why? Just why?
You know what?
Chip, what the fuck is wrong with you? Every single promoter has put the title on themselves since 1947. What the fuck are you talking about here?
Nope, Cody didn't put a belt on him.
I was literally going to say that.
Cody did not win the world title.
It's not his company.
Did George Hackenschmidt do?
Yes.
That was 1908 or 1902. Anyway, it's because they're the ones they can trust. That's why. Because they're running the company.
Yeah, look how well that worked out.
I need to counter this now. You say trust, but I guarantee you, if you look at shows day to day, I guarantee you, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, is on 3-1 compared to the Bucks. So
absolutely.
Don't give me the safe bet.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing: is that it's one thing to say that they're trustworthy. It's another to say that No matter
They
what
draw.
happens, they draw. That's what the big key thing is. As much as I love to say the Dark Order is this amazing, faction, they don't draw because they've intentionally nerfed them. And I shouldn't say that that's even totally their fault, even because the main reason why the Dark Order ever existed was because of Brody. So when Brody died, they were left completely directionless. So now they have this huge faction they don't know what to do with. Many of them have now left. Colt's gone. Why, we don't know.
I have a feeling.
Five's gone. 10's gone.
Yeah.
No,
Vance is still around.
Stu's gone.
Stu's gone.
Yo, dog, I heard you like trios matches.
I do.
Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns?
Okay, don't say it like that. Everyone was looking forward to this, and you.
Well, no, I say it like that because they're faces, but
not in
then
this match.
No, they weren't.
for this one match, they're heels
Sure.
with no build. They just show up.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Jersey and Detroit have that connection,
16 minutes 30 seconds. Gant gave this 3.5. A trios match with good psychology and a ref that doesn't make everything look stupid. 3 3/4.
2 stars good enough for a house show.
Wow. Fuck you guys.
Well, no,
Seriously, this is good.
No, this is what I'll say about this match. I think I said it in our chat. Chris Sabin does not age.
No.
He looks like he's still 12.
Black don't crack.
He looks like he's a 20-year-old. And he's 48, 49? He's got to be up there now.
Let me take a look.
He's got to be up there.
Is he really?
He's up there.
Well,
Maybe
don't
I'm wrong.
forget,
Maybe it's my age.
he's been working for nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
So
Chris Sabin is 40 years old.
Oh,
Wow.
fuck you, asshole. I'm 40. Just saying he's 49.
Well, look at you.
Here's my problem with, and let me throw this out there because I think I also said this in the chat. I just needed FTR versus MCMG.
Thank you. That's all I needed.
It should. They could have done the whole Wardlow Jay Lethal post match. They could have done all of that stuff after the actual match and just have Wardlow sit in their corner.
That should have been your main event for 0 hour.
No,
I would not have done that.
0 hour.
The reason why I say that is that match books itself. It's the legendary Motor City Machine Guns versus the untouchable FTR currently right now, except if they want to go against the Young Bucks because the Young Bucks won't ever put them over. But that's a whole nother situation. This would have been great just as a simple tag team match. It would have been one of those sleeper fucking maybe 4.5 star, 5-star matches just sitting in the middle of the card. But no, we had to have a 6-man and we had to shove a bunch more Wardlow and Jay Lethal into it.
So I'm going to make this point. I didn't make it during the trios title. If you're going to have this huge tournament and build up the trios championship, why are you having 2 other trios matches on the fucking show? To me, that makes 0 sense.
And some of these trios make no sense at all as it is.
I would agree with that. And to be fair, I countered the point by saying this. If you want to create a trios division, you have to have a bunch of trios people. And the problem with that is, at least with this match, is that this trio is going to last. Obviously, this was a one-off, intentionally so. And this other 6-man, while it was House of Black was there, you're never going to have Miro and Darby and Darby's dad be a trio. It doesn't make sense. So why do it here? It was just literally only to get more people on the card, and this
To make the show fucking longer than it fucking needed to be. The TBS title didn't need to be on this. Quite frankly, as much as I love FTR, this match didn't need to be on the show. The next match we're going to talk about didn't need to be on the show.
Definitely not.
Hobbs versus Starks.
Yes.
And so
They could have done it on Dynamite easily.
I disagree with that. As it was booked, and this garbage fucking squad.
We'll get to it. Let's continue everyone else's.
Yeah.
On the second.
3 stars, by the way.
Chip.
I would have, like I said, as Sleazy said, I would have enjoyed it if it was just FTR versus the Motor City Machine Guns. The Jay Lethal Motor Machine Gun connection, unless it was from Impact, I don't get it. But 3.5 stars. I mean, I would have just rather seen Wardlow and Lethal continue their thing without being involved in this match. Just give me that tag team match and I'll be fine with it.
All right, Heavy G, close us out for that match.
2 stars. I mistakenly said earlier, I'm tired of Lethal just being just. Can he get a push in a big company sometime? Huh? Please.
Not here. His ex literally is married to the AEW current champion. That ain't ever happening.
Well, I get that, but he is so talented that to me it's just a waste of talent. And like you said, I would rather have seen FTR against the Motor City Machine Guns. But like I said, 2 stars just because of them. Just they got to use Lethal right. And to me, the whole Samoa Joe thing at the end,
where he fucking bleeds from
what? Walking down the aisle.
It's his theme song that makes him bleed.
I don't get it.
Listen, his theme is a banger, though.
I love it. I love it. I love his AEW theme.
Okay.
Fucking awesome.
Okay. AEW World Tag Team Championship, Swerve and Glory defends against the Acclaimed. 22 minutes and 30 seconds. It is, I do believe, the longest match on the card. No, it's not.
Second longest, right?
Second longest. John Cannon gave this 4.5. I'll go first because the Acclaimed made me eat my fucking words. 100%.
Scissor me!
No, that's still fucking stupid as shit. But the crowd reaction was absolutely fantastic. It made the match. This was match of the night in a fucking walk. 4.5 stars. Absolutely fucking phenomenal. There's nothing more I can say. The Acclaim made me fucking stick my foot in my mouth because I thought they're trash, but this match proved me wrong. I'm not enough to admit it.
I will throw this at you, gentlemen. If you had the book, would you have called the audible?
No.
I might have.
No. I would not.
I wouldn't.
I haven't seen a crowd act like that for a tag match in a very, very, very long time.
Couple of weeks on Dynamite.
Wow.
No. I like to get a reaction like that. The only thing I can really attain it to,
I'll preface this for a specific tag team, not just
correct,
the match.
Correct. I hate to say this, but Road Warrior-esque.
Wow.
Like, that's a Road Warrior pop. Like, people lost their minds when you see the idiots come out with spiked shoulder pads and face paint. And these guys ate up just 2 dudes doing this. And they had a great match. Bowen sells his ass off. Caster comes in with the good work. Fuck, this was a good match. And also, pro to fucking Swerve in Our Glory for fucking kind of taking the dickhead heelish route, but still trying to be face. Like,
that's where they call the audible. when you get such a reaction like that, you have to you got to start healing up. And that's fine. It's happened before. It will continue to happen in this business.
So
I would
one reason why I can't really go 5 stars on this match is Keith Lee fucking selling, just shaking his head like, oh, the fucking Sid sell.
It's getting better though. He's getting better at it.
He shakes his head a few seconds more now. Like,
but he does a backstep. Like, you know me, I'm not a Keith Lee guy.
I'm not either.
I am right with you with the whole selling shit. We've talked about it before, but him and Swerve work really well together. I really wish that I would have seen this more the other way than we do see it here, but it is what it is. Great fucking match. I'm going to shut up about it. I gave it 5. This is my match of the night. This is the best match on the card. And yeah, loved it. Scissor me daddy ass. I got the shirt on the way.
Fucking Mark. Speaking of Mark.
Definitely match of the night, and it wasn't even close. I give it 4 3/4. I loved that, and I loved the end when Keith Lee scissored Daddy, and then Swerve flipped him off. There's still that disconnect between him and Swerve as a tag team. I love it.
That's on purpose.
But I know, and I love it. But when they work in the ring together, they're fucking phenomenal. So 4 3/4 match of the night.
All right, Sleazy.
Okay, I'm a huge Keith Lee fan. You know, I like his taste in women. But I will say
only reason why garbage human being, trash human.
Fuck him. Love his taste in women.
But his taste in women.
I haven't seen a rack like that since BAM. I'm sorry. It's most illegal move in wrestling. Just getting flashbacks.
Oh God, I love that. So here's the thing. I get where Dietz is coming from. It's like, maybe you should put the straps on and Acclaim time. The reason why you don't is because you still got a few stories that you can tell with Swerve. Acclaimed is red hot. We get that. You know who should they have? The Trios title. Because you get Billy Gunn in there with the Acclaim, that would be a perfect tag team to drop the Trios title to. Because the reality is that the Scissor Me Daddy Ass thing, funny, whatever. But part of the reason why that's so over is because of Billy Gunn. And if you put that together and you put everything together in that respect, you have one hell of a Trios team there. And I think you could do a lot of cool things with that. As for the Scissor Me Daddy Ass thing, it gives vibes of Suck It and other things that are cool and fun to say that are kind of,
risque.
Risque-ish, but it's great for young teenagers to say in fucking school, whatever. But that's the kind of shit that works from a monetary perspective. As for the match itself, fucking phenomenal, absolutely wonderful. I had a couple of minor quibbles about it, but nothing major. I really enjoyed it, and it was match of the night for me as well. 4.5 stars. I do like the fact that they did, once again, like I said, they did do the heel, especially Swerve healed it up a little bit more. It just worked. Everything just worked. And the near falls in the second half of the match,
when he hit the mic drop.
The mic drop. The fucking crowd reaction after that near fall. It was, everyone thought that was over. And when you have the crowd in the palm of your hand like that, it's just so good. And that's why this worked so well.
I see Max Caster's leading into being more like John Cena, hitting a FU. But anyway, Heavy G.
Well, yeah, all you guys are taking my steam here. And by the way, kudos to Boston Cream here. You got it.
Putting over the Boston Cream.
Got it.
Got to put over Boston.
After I say what I say when I have a bite of this thing, but yeah, it was to me. It wasn't the match that I for me. It was my second favorite match. we get to my favorite match here in a little bit, but it was great. I think when it was just a master class of storytelling. And like you said, the whole crowd getting into that whole heel thing with Swerve and Lee. I think that was awesome. They went with you guys take everything I want to say. So,
Well,
but for me,
I'll let
4
you
stars.
start. Couple matches. I'll let you start because I know
Well,
we have
I'll let you start after after this.
we have a bit we got to do here.
So can you imagine your son coming home from school? Dad, I got detention. Why'd you get detention, son?
Scissor
my
me?
teacher needs scissor me, daddy ass.
Be like, fair play, son. Fair play.
Fair play.
Well played.
AEW World Championship, John Moxley defends against CM Punk. 19 minutes and 55 seconds. John Kane gave this 4 1/4. Heavy G, go ahead. Yep.
I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. 2 weeks ago, he was squashed, and then
Magically, the foot's better.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you went, you couldn't do anything with your foot, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, you're healthy, you're ready to go. That if that foot was hurt, it took you 3 months to get back. You re-injure it, it takes you 2 weeks, and you're healthy and ready to go. Didn't like that. Of course, it was going to be CM Punk win. Everyone knew that going in. The match itself, I think it was pretty hard hitting. The 2 GTSs I think were great, but the big thing comes of that really coming out of that match is the aftermath.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, I'll give it 3 stars. I mean, I'm a huge John Moxley fan. Liked him when he was his other incarnation, and then when he was John Moxley previously. So I think it's just a good way for just Punk to get the title. Let's see what happens. So, like I said, 3 stars.
I know Sleazy has that look on his face, so I'm gonna go to him.
I like John. I like John a lot. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Man likes to bleed a lot. But I like John. This felt like a one-sided match until the very end, where John Cena hulked up and hit his finish and won. I don't understand why people like this match so much. I really don't. It was not good. It was not well put together. It made no sense from 10 days ago losing in seconds to this. I'm pretty sure it was done only because they wanted Punk to get the win. Well, Punk wanted to get the win in Chicago. I don't know. I hate this type of booking, and I feel like that this booking was also heavily politicked, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm not sure what's going on with everything, but I will say at this point, John should have just kept the strap. There was no reason to put it back on CM Punk here. And the match itself is 2.5 stars. An okay match for a house show.
Again, another match where I thought I was going to get shit at, and I fucking agree. It was an okay match for a house show. I don't get it either. Like, and the ending, which we'll get to, the post-match we'll get to, made no sense either. But I think, honestly, the match should have been the exact opposite of what they're fucking... If you're going to have Punk, his foot's being so hurt, excuse me, why not just have him do the reverse Moxley and beat him in 3 minutes? Get it done quickly. His foot doesn't hurt. It just makes sense instead of having a 20-minute match where you're not even selling the foot, really. I mean, it made no sense. It was stupid.
Having gig. I mean, we're on Muta levels of gigging here, and it wasn't good.
So I'm a big fan normally of most of these guys, but I'm to the point now where I'm with CM Punk. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on. Oh no, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on.
Don't get fooled again.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, I love John Moxley. I myself have shattered my heel, and 3 years after that surgery, I'm still hobbling around every day on my foot. So for him to no sell that foot injury and be able to do it in 2 weeks later without an issue, it's non-believable. It's very non-believable. And that I for the first time ever, I think I'm going to give a CM Punk and or a John Moxley match 2.5 stars. I couldn't get into it. And normally I would love that match. There was blood, there was hard hitting, but there was no storytelling. There was no nothing there. And it came out of nowhere.
So I'm going to let Dietz go, and then I'll do my final thought. Dietz.
So I never ever thought I would say this because next to being an AEW mark, I'm a UFC guy. Like, love UFC. Watch it ever since I was a kid. I'm getting a little tired of blood. Like, color is being used way too much in AEW. Like, to an absurd amount where it's common to see now. Like,
CZW.
on Dynamite, somebody's going to get busted open. On Rampage, no, you'll get your technical wrestling and your bullshit. It's time for the main event. But on a pay-per-view, main event, you're going to see blood. I'm kind of over it. I really am. And this match, and as soon as I saw Punk come out in all white with the with the Chicago flag basically draped on him, I'm like, this motherfucker's bleeding like a sieve. And I'm done with it. Give me good technical wrestling. Give me a storyline. Give me something that works. This was just a complete clusterfuck of 20 minutes. Gentlemen, I'm in a complete agreement. 2 stars. Not even good enough for a house show, to be honest with you.
Wow.
So Dietz is going, he wants psychologically sound, good technical wrestling and a storyline.
You must be watching the wrong show.
I
kind of am.
What company does that? Oh, so what was my final thought? Fuck. I knew I should have said it. Well, it's always fuck Dave Meltzer. And we got to talk about the end, but there's something about the match I want to talk about, but I forget. Sleazy, go over the post-match.
Okay, so post-match, Punk comes or grabs the title, blah, 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 blah. We go to dark. Okay? An audio voicemail plays. It's Tony Khan talking to somebody. I wonder who that could have been. Talking about, I know I suspended you, but we've lost a lot of viewership. Ha, ha, ha. We need you back. I'll give you a spot in the Casino Battle Royal. You don't even have to sign an extension. Just come back, do the Battle Royal or do the ladder match. Quick flash, Punk in the ring, 2005, says the best thing about the biggest.
He quoted the usual suspects. The greatest thing that pretty much the greatest trick the devil ever told was convincing the world it didn't exist.
I've never seen The Usual Suspects, so I don't even know.
Very good.
What?
Movie.
My favorite movie of all time.
I know it's his favorite.
Not my favorite of all time, but it is a good movie.
It's Fat Man's favorite movie of all time. That's why I said it. But then obviously we get the scarf. He pulls off the mask. Oh my God, it's MJF. How did we ever fucking not know? He comes out afterwards to everyone going mild because it's been 5 fucking hours since this goddamn pay-per-view started, and they can't even barely chant for MJF, even after coming out. So we get a promo from MJF. No, we don't. We have him go, oh, sorry, folks. Let's find out on Wednesday. End show. Did I get it pretty good? Is that pretty much
pretty much it?
He didn't even need to come out. You could have ended the show with just him doing the whole scarf flip.
That could have been it.
And you could have ended it right then and there.
Okay, so I'll start with my problems with all this. Problem number 1, why the fuck are we putting him with Stokey? There's no reason.
Got the fucking pinnacle.
Right. There's no reason to him be associated with Stokey and that faction at all. Period. No reason for it.
Okay, the reason why you put a guy in the stable with a manager is because you need to help him with an interview. number one, Sleazy as a manager knows this.
Right. And
MJF does not need help with promos.
in fact, it would actually be a deterrent to have him in a faction where he would need to speak. And obviously, people want him to speak because that's the entire point of his character. Even more so than his wrestling, is that he is one hell of a fucking promo. Why would you put him in a faction of merry jobbers? Number two, and this is what pisses me off even more, the man is there to talk. What the fuck you doing putting him out there and not having him fucking talk? The fuck's wrong with you people? It's mind-blowingly stupid. And never mind all the shit that we're about to talk about later, and we'll talk about this after the break, obviously, but it completely overshadowed everything that's been going on with MJF for the last 3+ months of this arc. What the fuck are you guys doing? I leave the floor open to everyone else.
So yeah, the voicemail. I first try to make it make sense to being like, oh, if you're going to put him in the ladder match, come back and be in the ladder match, and it's for a future world title match, why not have Stokely and his band of goons help him get the title shot? I'm like, okay, that makes sense, but not really, because you're now ruining, like you said, 3.5 months worth of storylines, quote unquote, for this.
But here's the even worse part about that is that the storyline, the voicemail completely negates Stokely bringing him in.
Yes.
So what are you doing? Is it the work? Is it the shoot? Are we working, shooting here again? Pow, pow. Fuck you. Fuck you guys.
I agree with Dietz. I think that if you're gonna not have him say a word, I think the thing would have been have him take the mask off, like drop it behind him, and then put it down, or see him put it down on a table or something, and then you see the scarf around the neck
and show.
Boom.
You put the mask down next onto a table that's next to
next to the scarf. Exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
Just to do that, like that, and just have him pick up the scarf and maybe have the camera go back at him and have him put like a hat, or have him like do a wink, and then the show there. That to me was having him come out was a waste of time. It was just to get like a cheap pop or whatever they wanted to see what was going on. I think it would have been better just to have him just do that, not say a word, and then if you're not gonna have him say a word, just do a little 15-second thing that, hey, this was me. Boom.
The worst thing about that is that you blew your load to see if you could get a cheap pop, and he didn't get the cheap pop.
He got a decent pop.
He got silence for like 25 seconds, and then, oh, well, I guess we better chant for him. It was not the huge pop they were looking for.
My thing is, I think people have forgotten about him.
No.
The show was too fucking long.
No.
They killed the crowd.
That is true.
Killed the crowd.
We've been a victim of those type shows. We've been a victim of those.
You notice even when CM Punk came out, he wasn't getting that big of a reaction either.
He didn't. Yeah,
in Chicago.
Well,
And it was 50.
They had 3 fucking shows in the same building in 5 days.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. 2, the show's too fucking long.
Oversaturating the arena.
And you're oversaturating the market because you go to Chicago 15 times a fucking year.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, you're going to get excited. I mean, this isn't back like when they had studio wrestling, when you had, you're here Monday,
WCW Saturday night.
Travel day Wednesday, you're here Thursday, you do a double shot Saturday. It's not like that anymore, but you can't have that many shows and be at that same venue with basically the same show you're having.
Yes.
With
100%.
You can't do it, and that's
The
why.
same crowd in the same arena for the same people you've already seen twice.
Right.
And you want to get them a pop a third time. It's just insane.
No, you're not going to do it. And the sad part is if you thought like everybody did that the Joker was MJF, you knew who was going to win that. You knew who was going to win the title match going in. And I think that's another reason why it could have killed the crowd, because, okay, we think MJF the Joker, so we know right off the shoot that Moxley's not going to win the title. Punk's going to win the title.
Well, that too. But also, I think they outsmarted themselves by thinking everyone thinks MJF's going to be the Joker. Why not do this stupid-ass convoluted plot thing so it throws people off the scent for 3.5 hours? If you just brought him back and actually had the match and him win it, it would have meant more.
Yep.
Here's the reason why we did it.
Okay, so finish your thought, then Dietz. I got to get more.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No, go ahead, Sleazy. Finish your thought, then we'll go with Dietz. I'm just got to get more water.
Okay, so a lot of you guys know this because you're classic wrestling fans. But when a guy works or is deciding that he's going to go to WWF, where do they say they're going to go? Do you know this? What's that?
Connecticut?
No, New York.
They're going to go to New York.
They're going to go to New York. I think AEW is trying to make Chicago their town, so that if you are going to AEW, you're going to Chicago.
Like if you're going to WCW, you're going to Atlanta.
Exactly. And I think that's a interesting way of doing it, but also they're killing their own crowd by doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should be doing that right now when they are 3 years into the business. It'd be one thing if that they'd been around for 10 years and that was their big deal. And, you know, this is their thing. And you got Tony Khan already bitching, complaining about how people are getting in on, you know, his Labor Day weekend, you know, bullshit. Fuck him in that respect. But I think that's where they're going with all this.
And on top of that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
But
go ahead.
On top of that, this works right now because you have no Chicago Blackhawks, you have no Chicago Bulls, you have no Chicago Bears. So them sitting there going back to that place in times all season of the main four sports, when those main four sports go into play, a lot of that audience is going to go away, and it won't be as packed.
That may not be. That may be the truth. Dietz, I know you're simmering over there.
So, I'm just going to speak at this as a whole. This is the worst pay-per-view AEW's ever put on.
Wow.
From the AEW mark.
There is essentially two shining lights that came out of this. One, Scissor Me Daddy Ass is 1,000% over. Two, this show officially shows you TK can't book. Like, cannot book. He needs help. Bad. Apparently, Shivani is now the new right-hand man, which I don't know how I feel.
Is the guy who gave the idea to put the world title on David Arquette.
Which I am okay with. That I'm
we won't talk about that.
I'm okay with. But that's beside the point. We're not getting into that right now. It was too long. Matches didn't make sense. Nothing was really cohesive. The booth sounded fucking terrible. Minus Taz. Taz was fucking on point the entire night. Taz was really good.
Which is shocking.
No, Taz is
ever since they put the 3-man booth with Taz has been kind of the fucking glue. JR sounded disinterested. Excalibur's kind of lost in his own little world. Taz does Taz. Great. I need more from my WCW guy. I need Shivani to do something. Whether I honestly, 4 people in a booth too? Fuck, man. Come on.
Nope.
Like,
It's
no,
too
No
much.
man booth.
it's so many talking over each other. This is
It was funny
this is
because
not how this is supposed to go. This is supposed to be the revolution, not the de-evolution of wrestling.
Okay. Heavy G has his hand up.
Just think about what Dietz just said. Say what you said again about Jim Ross.
Jim Ross phoned that in.
He seemed disinterested.
Mm-hmm.
When have you heard Jim Ross disinterested on a pay-per-view or any big-time match? If that doesn't tell you what you need to know about what AEW's booking is right now, you're talking about one of the best, if not the best announcers in wrestling, sounding disinterested.
And they don't sound good. You know who they fucking need? You give me Taz, you give me Excalibur, you go get fucking Mara Ronaldo.
Yes.
And that's it. You put fucking JR as VP of Talent Relations, have him come in once Moxley wrestles, or Punk, or Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
One-offs. He doesn't have the gas enough anymore
So,
to do a 4-hour show.
well, he was only on it for 2. And
Even 2 hours. Even 2
And-
hours.
I think if you listen to his podcast, he even bashes some of the AEW booking. So he's disinterested because he thinks it's shit also.
Exactly.
But
And
you have so much brain power in that company. You've got Arn Anderson. You've got Dean Malenko. You've got Jim Ross. You've got Sanjay Dutt. You've got
Jake Roberts.
Jake Roberts. You fucking can have Ricky Steamboat.
you had WCW.
No, I agree. You have too many great minds in there that can. I think Jake Roberts was underrated. We talked about that on the show, I think last week when I had our 10 favorite wrestlers. You have a lot of equity there that you can bank off of.
Have you ever heard the term "too many cooks in the kitchen"?
Yep.
This is exactly what's going on here.
Too many Chiefs, not enough fucking Indians.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're going about 2 hours on this. I'm going to try to produce this down. We're going to take a break, and then Sleazy is going to talk about the insane fucking shit that happened after All Out.
Well, folks, we're back. I've got a headache. We've gone way too long. But I'm not even going to talk about anything else other than this because we've gone on so long. People got hurt. There's a lot of weird shit that Tony Khan said. We won't even talk about that because what really happened, there are two main things happened. Number one, the media scrum after. And what Punk actually said at the media scrum. Now, oh my God. So I have to, I'm going to read it all because I think it needs to be read. I haven't had anything to do with Scott Colton in almost a decade. Probably had nothing to do with him even longer than that. It's fucking unfortunate that I have to come up here and speak when I'm on my time, and this is a fucking business. Why I'm a grown ass adult man, decide not to be friends with somebody who is nobody else's fucking business. But my friends, if I fall backwards to catch me, Scott Colton, I felt never would have. My problem was that I wanted to bring a guy with me that the top did not want to see at the top. You can call it jealousy, you can call it envy, you can call it whatever the fuck it was. My relationship with Scott Knowlton ended long before I paid all of his bills. I have every receipt. I have every invoice. I have every email. I have the email where he says, and I quote, "I agree to go our separate ways. I will get my own lawyer. You don't have to pay anymore." That's an email I have. The only reason the public did not see this is when I finally had to countersue him through discovery. We discovered he had shared a bank account with his mother. That's a fact. And as soon as we discovered that fact and we subpoenaed old Marcia, he sent the email, "Oh, can we drop all this?" Now it's 2022. I haven't been friends with the guy since at least 2014. The fact that I have to sit up here because we had put irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target, and they spread lies and bullshit and put in the media that I got somebody fired when I have fuck all to do with him, want nothing to do with him, do not care where he works, where he doesn't work, where he eats, where he sleeps. And the fact that I have to get up here and do this in 2022 is fucking embarrassing. And if y'all are all at fault, then fuck you. If not, I apologize. What did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national fucking television and go into business for himself? For what? What did I do? What did I fucking ever do? And I didn't do a goddamn thing. It's not Tony Khan's position to make it very fucking clear that Punk, he didn't have anything to do with Cabana. There's people who call themselves EVPs that should have fucking known better. It's none of their business. I understand sticking up for your fucking friends. I fucking get it. I stuck up for Cabana more than anybody, okay? I paid his bills until I didn't. It was my decision not to. I'm trying to run a fucking business, and when somebody who doesn't do a damn thing in this business jeopardizes the first $1 million house that this company's ever drawn off my back and goes on national television, does that, it's a disgrace to this industry. It's a disgrace to this company. Now we're far beyond apologies. I gave him a fucking chance. It did not get handled. You saw what I had to do was very regrettable, lowering myself to his fucking level. But where we are, it's where we are right now. And I will still walk up and down this hallway and say, if you have a fucking problem with me, take it up with me. Let's fucking go. And guess what? That fucking happened that night. So let's break this down a little bit really quickly. So let's talk about the whole Scott Colton thing. Colt Cabana. I think what needs to be said here, a lot of people took that as a shot from Punk to Colt saying, oh, look at the little mama's boy. He had a bank account with his mother. Now, if you know anything about lawsuits, you know that if you lose a lawsuit, you have to pay. And if you have to pay, they look at all your assets. All your assets include joint assets, which in this case would have been him and his mother's bank account. So it could have really hurt his own mother if he was countersued and lost, which, to be fair, I would have said, okay, we're fucking done. We need to cut this off. There's a lot more at stake here than we would have thought. So I kind of get where Punk was going there. I don't see it as a shot. I see it as I was fucking done with this. Why are we still bringing this up? As for the rest of it, I don't know what to say. The Hangman Adam Page thing, there's so many different stories revolving around it. I'm not sure if any of that's true. That sounds like fucking bitter bullshit. I'm interested in everyone else's thoughts on this. Let me start with Heavy G. What are your thoughts about the actual scrum before we talk about the fight?
Well, the scrum was interesting. Another funny thing, if you ever watched, did you see Tony Khan's reactions during when CM Punk was there at the radio show? Every time CM Punk raised his glass, he raised his glass, and the faces that he would make when he was talking about, I wasn't able to walk my dog, and you see, and all of a sudden you see just I'm like, Tony, what the fuck are you doing?
Oak's a hell of a drug.
Interesting with what Punk said there at the beginning. The whole thing with Scott Colton, Colt Cabana, I agree with him. I mean, when you have those guys that are basically looking out for their own interests, I kind of agree with what he said. I mean, the whole bank account thing was a revelation, but he just let it all loose, and to me it was too loose, like it's a work, but he just went off on something that wasn't even questioned at first. So the other questions he answered about having to work with pricks and stuff, yeah, I agree with him on the Hangman Page with not listening to the elder statesman in the back. That these young wrestlers probably think that, hey, look at me, I'm doing this now. I made more money than you. Who the hell are you to tell me? That's what I think. I think he's right.
Dietz, what do you got to say?
So I watch that entire media scrum. Too much TK, first and foremost. There needs to be another figure somewhere in there. TK should always come out and talk. It's his company. Not going to deny that. But he should not be in every single scrum. So he was there for Punk. He was there for Storm, Swerve in Our Glory. and CM Punk, and then he did his own little shtick.
Jeffrey Jericho, I was gonna say.
Yeah, he was there for Jericho. He probably should only did it for Punk, and then did his stuff, and then somebody else should have took over. As for CM Punk and his comments and that entire media scrum part, I don't like airing out dirty laundry, and that to me, that's kind of what he was doing. I'm a big proponent of, if you've got a problem with me, let's go handle it face to face. I did not like the fact that he brought up somebody else's mother just to clarify things. That to me is kind of a drawing line. Do I respect him for sticking up for himself? Absolutely. I'll back Punk on that 100%. I just think he went a little low. Listening to the entire thing, he was super duper negative about everything, minus one thing. He gave props to Adam Cole, wished him nothing but best, and wished him a healthy recovery, and hopefully he gets better soon.
And his cake.
Yes.
Yes.
And the cake. Or he put over a bakery in Chicago.
Oh, it's on Mondays and Tuesdays, by the way.
It's childish, but how do I put it this way? What we all enjoy is kind of childish too, so I get it, sort of.
Interesting take.
All of it was weird. It wasn't like, I hate to compare the two. When you had the media scrum with WWE for Clash at the Castle, it was professional. It was done right. It was quick. It was snappy. Quick hitters, in and out, in and out, in and out. This was just a complete clusterfuck of everything. Punk was super pissed. Tony Storm was awkward. Swerve to Our Glory came off as assholes. Chris Jericho came out as a fucking peacemaker.
Here's the problem with those scrums, and I'll just quickly throw this in there, is that they're trying to do something that New Japan does. But the problem with this is that the reason why New Japan does it that way is because they don't have weeklies, really. They don't have ways to continue on a story without these scrums. So they're taking the scrum concept from New Japan and using it, but they already have other vehicles to tell stories. But they shouldn't be doing this.
Here's my other big issue. They're not even putting over their own fucking product.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah. Is it?
Give the book to Arn. Give the book to Tully. Give the book to anybody fucking else. Tony, stop booking. That's all I'm saying.
Chip, you got to bring us down on this.
So when I watched so much goddamn wrestling this weekend, so much goddamn wrestling, I thought I was back in Dallas or back in New Orleans again. And by the time it hit today, I was just like, my wife's like, hey, let's watch Raw. I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I could do another show. But anyways, I enjoyed the time with my wife. It was awesome. I love that she's into wrestling big time now. But yes, the media scrum, you took the words right out of my fucking mouth, because I just got done watching all the G1 Climax, and they brought, now with the G1 Climax, that was more episodic than it was normal in JPW stuff. But Ryan, who never basically watched in JPW show, watched one or two that I told him about, and he was able to get the storylines via the media scrum. And he loved that about it. And that's the thing. And the whole thing about WWE putting over their stuff and doing it professionally, and then diarrhea at the mouth by AEW and going off on fucking tangents. I mean, the only reason I think Punk brought this up is because it's been in the media so much lately, with the whole Colt Cabana getting let go or leaving AEW or whatever went down. And he's just tired of hearing it, and he just fucking snapped. But wrong place, wrong time, wrong media outlet. If you're going to do that, leave it 140 letters and put it on fucking Twitter, and then let people blow it up from there. Don't waste the audience's time who's already watched a 4.5 hour show and spend 2 more hours bitching about personal things that don't even other than the talking about wrestling with pricks and that situation, pertain to the fucking wrestling world. That was a personal life, business, two different things.
Batman.
Where do I begin? Okay. So his comment about the EVPs, I've been saying for 2 years. They don't know how to fucking book a show.
You have.
So, I mean, I agree with him. The problem is that you feed these dirt sheet writers stories, and then you invite the dirt sheet writers to your fucking press conferences to ask the questions that you're feeding them. And then you're all shocked that they're asking the questions. You're fucking dumb. It's fucking stupid. That's your fault. You started it. You're feeding. Now, is it the EVP, whoever fed them the story, whoever it is, whatever. But you're inviting the dirt sheet writers knowing what's going to happen. So that's on you. Yeah, it's just weird. It just came off weird because you just had this successful event and you're not even talking about it. It's just.
Here's my issue about it. Is this a work or is this a shoot?
It's a shoot.
I mean, no, in terms of the scrum as a whole. Are you talking to performers performing, or are you talking to wrestlers that are not performing, but actually talking about their performance?
This scrum or all the scrums?
The AEW scrum specifically.
So the AEW scrums, I think, are mostly shoots. The WWE press conferences are worked because obviously Roman Reigns got up and walked out of his. Well, that's a work.
Right.
So, I mean, but
I do have something to add on that.
Go ahead.
That the person that asked the question to Roman have beef. That's why he literally gave literally a quick answer and then left.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. But
that's legit beef.
Okay, so but most of the time, WWE's is a work. I think AEW's is a shoot.
But is it?
Yes.
But is it?
Yes.
I kind of agree, just for the simple fact when you watch that scrum again.
I watched it.
Yeah, when you
I survived it.
When Swerve and Lee were asked about the finish, and somebody said, would you have called an audible? And they both whipped right around. They're like, excuse me? Like, they weren't ready for that question. And you could see they were getting visibly mad.
Because
especially Swerve.
You are fucking inviting dirt sheet writers and people I've never even
work.
Who they work. Yes.
Right. But I'm just saying that the people on the stage are working. The people in the audience should not be asking them shit. You see what I mean? I guess that's my point and problem with all this entire thing is the entire thing should be a work. Otherwise, you get stupid shit like this.
Right. I mean, now, do we think this is a work? No, it's fucking a shoot. It's a shoot.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll. I think everyone touched on the scrum. Let's go to actually let's go.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Let's go to the scrum after the scrum.
Yeah. So basically, little bit on. I'm just gonna go with Sean Ross Sapp. He's an idiot, but I think he did a good job of just touching on pretty much everything. So supposedly there was a 5 to 6 minute brawl.
The EVPs pretty much flipped the fuck out at Punk. And then
there's rumors that, and all of this is completely rumored. No one's really talked about much of anything here. And part of that is because there might be legal ramifications. Nobody's really talking about it. It's not even been confirmed that anybody's been suspended yet that we're aware of. It's been rumored, but no one's been talking about yet. This is 11 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. Anything could have happened. Anything could have changed since then. They are working Buffalo Wednesday. So just keep that in mind. If you're listening on Saturday, you're not listening live on Twitch. So 5-6 minute brawl. There's a rumor that Punk got injured there, but it was unconfirmed. It may have happened during the match. CM Punk was quote unquote absolutely wrong about the identity of the sources of the Colt Cabana story. What SRS is hearing is all over the map in terms of who might get fired, who might get suspended. Nobody's really said anything about that. There is a belief that if Punk gets released, Triple H might call him and see if there's business to be done. What the fuck is this bullshit here?
Wait. Triple H will call him?
Yes.
No.
No way in
Absolutely
hell.
zero
No
chance
way.
that's happening.
No way in hell.
Right?
There is no way Jay Briscoe's winning the ROH World Title.
100%. There was a text and a phone call that suggested that Discovery wasn't happy about the entire situation, about the fight or the scrum. It's just all sorts of bullshit. That the physical altercation was with Punk and the Young Bucks specifically. Okay, Kenny Omega said at one point was there, but he didn't get into physical altercation with Punk, but he did get into a fight with Ace Steel, which included him getting bit by him. Whatever. A number of AEW staff and security hit the scene. You could see that one security member was running away from the scrum. That's where the belief that the actual fight happened. Once the sides were separated, they continued to argue. There was a lot of yelling. Nobody knows who hit who first, supposedly. Depending on who you talk to, somebody hit somebody first. Whatever. A lot of people are taking sides. The thing is, there's going to be a lot of talk about three different things. Number one is it a work? Is it a shoot? And just very quickly, I want to go through each one of you. Tell me if it's a work or a shoot. Any part of this. Start with Fat Man.
The shoot.
Okay. Heavy G?
I wanted to say it's work, but I think it's a shoot.
Chip?
Shoot.
Dietz?
Fuck y'all, we're working.
I think it's a shoot. And normally I'm the one that's like, oh, no, fuck, they're working us.
Actually, I just said it just to break the mold. Of course, it's going to be a shoot, folks.
This is absolutely a shoot. So my next question is, who do you believe, do you think anyone's going to get fired? And I'll go around the horn again, or suspended? And we'll start with Chip.
Suspended, yes. Fired, no.
Who do you think will get suspended?
Well, whoever they find out through the first punch, and it could be Punk, therefore interim title.
Dietz, what do you think?
Looking at this as a reasonable human being, anybody that was threw a punch should be suspended. But this is wrestling. There's different rules. I'll just mention names. Ace Steel will be fired. CM Punk may be suspended, may also quit. Wouldn't shock me there. If he doesn't do any of those, I think the Bucks walk. And I don't think Kenny's too far behind him. This could severely change the landscape of AEW within, 72 hours?
Heavy G.
Well, if it's true that Ace Steel bit Kenny Omega, Ace Steel's fired. Suspensions, I think if anyone was involved, if CM Punk was involved with throwing a punch, he should be suspended. And I don't think there should be an interim. He should be stripped of the title.
Okay.
If he's not suspended or fired, I agree with Dietz. I mean, you can actually see all three of those of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega leaving the company. If those three leave, I think AEW is in real trouble, because if you're going to rely on Tony Khan and not those other three to do some booking, AEW is going to go to hell in a handbasket. It's just going to be interesting to see what happens. I think if Punk doesn't get fired, doesn't get suspended, they'll walk. But I think he's going to get suspended, and I think the Young Bucks and Omega will be getting suspensions as well, but not as long as Punk's.
Fatman, what do you think?
Brandon kind of stole my thunder. Ace Steel's getting fired, which will lead to CM Punk quitting. Which means that neither the Bucks or Omega will get suspended.
I honestly think they're all gone. That's how I honestly feel. That's why I actually really wanted to come on today. Like, I come on normally when we have like fun stuff. This isn't fun.
No.
This is a promotion that As soon as it started, 110% on board. In 3 years' time, we might not even have the creators of this beautiful, another amazing company, full of money, full of potential, and the guys that actually create it aren't even a part of the company anymore. And that's a goddamn shame.
Yeah. So at the bare minimum, Ace Steel should get fired.
Ace Steel should be fucking gone. Anybody that bites another fucking human being is a fucking coward.
And he pulled Omega's hair, apparently. He's a little bitch. So, I mean, yeah, it's a fucked up situation for sure. All right, Sleazy, keep going if you have more.
Well, I do want to touch on this because I think that it's very important to know that none of this has happened yet as we're talking about this. I do believe that it's very possible that Punk is no longer with the company by the time this all blows over, whether it's by quitting, by getting fired, by any means necessary. Because here's the reality of it. When you have a money mark,
Tony Khan,
and you ride that money mark,
Tony Khan,
and everyone that comes back to wrestling to ride the money mark, people get pissed when too many people are riding the money mark and not getting their way. So,
This
shocker.
is a 4-hour show.
I mean,
so in all reality, CM Punk's acting like CM Punk.
yeah.
Really?
So he came back for the money. He's getting his money. And the reality is this. If he gets fired, it's no skin off his ass. He'll just go back doing whatever the fuck he was doing. He doesn't give a shit.
No.
He cares about money. He always cared about money. That's all the way. That's why he was back. He didn't give a shit about being back to wrestling because he loves wrestling. Fuck him. Okay? If he says anything different, he's a fucking liar. Because the reality is, this is a business. He says it so himself. He's trying to make money in the business. Nothing else matters. Because at the end of the day, everyone in that business is trying to make money. So if he quits, if he fires, he doesn't give a shit. He made his money off the money mark. If the Bucks leave, there is at least an 85% chance that they'll go to WWE. There's a 15% chance that they go back to New Japan. But most likely, they're talking to Kevin Steen in the back and going, hey, can you tell Paul, maybe we might be interested? Because you absolutely know that. And that's part of the reason why when this all blows over, like years from now, when AEW is folded in 2 years, I'm calling that now.
Well, you call TNA being out of business.
Right.
And they're still going strong. So
they've been around longer than ECW, WCW combined. What the fuck do I know, right? But if this company folds in the couple of years, you're going to hear a bunch of shit coming from Cody Rhodes saying, well, this is what really happened when I left. Because the reason why the rats jump off the ship at the first sign of danger is to save themselves. And Cody Rhodes was absolutely the first person to do that. And I guarantee you the Bucks won't be that far behind them. And same with Kenny Omega, because all three of them will go there. And the reality is this. You've got a shitload of talent still left there, and they won't miss a fucking beat because they're literally getting shoved up the ass with ex-WWE talent. It is what it is. And I love the fact that there was an alternative to WWE. I love the fact that there's guys out there that are getting a shot like Daniel Garcia, like all the guys that are getting on Dark, like fucking Sean Carr. There's
Bobby Ankles.
AR Fox was just recently on. Those guys are getting opportunities that they weren't originally getting. And to have that secondary, place to go and perform in front of a large television crowd or large audience like that is amazing. And to have them fuck it up this fucking bad to the point where you've got a fucking fist fight like school children in the back after a fucking pay-per-view, because this fucking business is all about the marks in the crowd and not the marks in the fucking ring like it is now in AEW. Get the fuck back to what you're supposed to be doing, which is going into business for the company and not into your business for yourselves. And maybe you have something successful after the fact.
You know, we used to say this a lot back in the day when I was kind of a normal in here. Carney's going to Carney. And that's really what this is. It is just a giant ass Carney fest. And I'm kind of fucking over it. I really am.
It's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Like, I've said enough. I've said my piece on it. Do better. That's all I ask. Do better.
Does it seem like this isn't to me? It seems like WCW just before it went under.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We're getting close.
We're getting very close to the and it's kind of funny. It actually showed up on Raw this week. We're getting close to the finger poke of doom.
Yeah,
and
it's terrible.
I remember going to the first Dynamite show in DC, and I was like, it was me, Del, and Josh, and we're like, this is going to be something. And then in 3 years' time, it is going to complete shit. Tony Khan just got money, didn't know how to run an organization. Kenny, Chris, and the Young Bucks knew how to run it because they've been in the industry for so long. And then
do they though?
Evidently,
do they though?
From what we're seeing, no. It's just frustrating to see how it started out white hot in that first episode of Dynamite, and now it's just. I was into it big time, and I try to watch when it comes to pay-per-views, but it's so lackluster lately that because I watch Master Chef with my wife at 8 o'clock, so I catch the West Coast stream at 11 o'clock, and I can't even make it to an episode, and I'm used to being up till 4 a.m. So it's just, I'm losing interest big time, and other federations are picking up my interest very fast.
I'm going to leave this as my final comment. This is reminding me a lot of WCW when the NWO was gigantic, and they don't know what to do with it anymore. When we had NWO White, NWO Black, NWO 2000, that's where I feel AEW is at right now. It's getting to that point where everything they are doing, it's one step forward, 2 steps back. And that can't happen anymore. Or you're going to lose your audience. You've already, like myself, am I still going to watch? Probably. I'm kind of invested. I kind of want to see what MJF does from out of here. I desperately want to see what Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, but they better have a fucking match on Wednesday. If not, I need a wrestling show, not a fucking circus act.
I want to point out one last thing before we kind of wrap this up. The one person I feel the most sympathy for out of all this is MJF.
It's Maxwell. He has this great moment, and then it all gets fucking ruined because some jackasses keep fucking talking shit about some shit that happened 6 years ago. It's fucking dumb.
It's ridiculous.
So I want to put one more thought on it. If you talked about ratings of losing the audience, if they do this shit to pop a fucking rating, it's fucking ridiculous. I guess it worked.
Well, no, it's not going to work. They've got a fucking television deal that's about to expire. And you see this shit going on? Do you want that on your channel?
No.
It's not just that it's expiring, but you still got a merge of two companies happening.
Yeah.
Like TV's looking for some programming.
Paramount Plus is looking for fucking.
Anyway,
listen, you put that shit on Paramount Plus. I'd buy Paramount again.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's do some plugs.
Okay, so let's start with Dietz. Put yourself over, please.
Legendary Dietz over at Twitter. Follow me there. I talk basically a lot of shit on wrestling, and
I'll let Heavy G do the plug for your guys' show. So let's go with you first.
Okay, Best Darn Sports Show Period 2, Thursday nights on Facebook and on Twitch. Got some good shows coming up here. You can catch me on simulationfootball.net. This is the first controllerless esport. You can become a player, join one of, I think we now are up to 24 teams. It's an awesome thing to watch. I'm also on Bullseyes and Brewskis. You can catch us on Facebook. It's a soft tip dart channel on Facebook and on YouTube. So enjoy.
Chip, put yourself over.
Okay, since Heavy G just put us over for the show, you can follow me at the Sports Guru 728 on Twitter. I've been very active lately, a lot more than I have been in the past few years, actually. And I've been also constantly posting stuff on the Wrestling Show's Facebook page.
Yes, and I thank you for that, by the way. I'm at TWS Sleazy.
TWS Fat Man.
And forgive me for doing this. It's been a couple of months, but we are at Sleazy Fat Man on Twitter and on Instagram. We are on TikTok at, I think I created a new one at Sleazy Fat Man. I'll go back. It's either the Wrestling Show or at Sleazy Fat Man. We're also on OnlyFans at the Wrestling Show. Come join us there.
check out my junk.
Check out Dietz's junk. There's also going to be some exclusive.
It's really a show where he just shows you junk.
I mean, it's like a bad version of Pawn Stars. It's really not good. But yeah, Jesus Christ. I don't understand us sometimes. You can find our show and every other show on the Gear Network at Gear Network, GERE Network.com. You can get our show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m., wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You can also, as we've alluded to on this show, you can get our raw version of this show with video on twitch.tv/Sleazy and the Fat Man. We do this every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. You can check us out there. That's pretty much it for the show. So with a big thank you to Dietz, Heavy G, Chip, and as always, for Sleazy,
For the Fat Man.
this is the Wrestling Show. Thank you guys for sticking with us throughout this entire fucking show. Peace.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. Fuck Kenny Omega. A hot dog's not a sandwich. A sub is not a sandwich. But seriously, Sleazy, it's great to have you back on. We did miss you. But fuck you.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain in the game. The blood shedding your name. When there's nothing to gain, all the world gonna say.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.